Today is a pretty glorious day, I've got to be honest. For those who don't know what the saga of Inazuma 11 Great Road of Heroes is, well, let's get into it. Basically, years ago, just hit my microphone. Basically, years ago, we were being told and announced about an Inazuma 11 Aries game based on the Inazuma 11 Aries anime. Well, not necessarily based on, they're kind of supposed to be together as one or something. And we got lots of gameplay footage of it. And well, the gameplay footage looked not good. You see, it was later revealed that they outsourced development of the game to another company. And that company wasn't quite as good and competent as they expected them to be. As such, when we got the gameplay footage, there were lots of frame drops, animations didn't look great, and overall, the game just didn't look quite up to what the Inazuma 11 standard is for their games, and generally they're pretty clean and whatnot, and this just wasn't that. It eventually got to a point on April 1st, 2020, and in retrospect it's weird that more people didn't see it as an April Fool's. They'd announced that it was Inazuma 11 Aries, the game was no more, and it was going to be a reboot called Inazuma 11 Great Road of Heroes. This game was meant to be a culmination of every Inazuma 11 game. It's like the perfect Inazuma 11 game, essentially, including characters from the original, Go, and Aries and Orion. You were going to play as a new manager character, and you were going to be leading your team in the Premier Football Frontier, I think it's called. Now, this was revealed a year ago as of basically recording this, and we haven't actually heard of anything since. Until today, where they dropped a brand new trailer. Well, it was probably last night, but a brand new trailer, or I guess a developmental update, if you want to be boring. And so, we're going to have a little watch through, and afterwards I'm going to tell you guys everything you need to know, because the entire thing is in Japanese, and so it makes sense that some people might not really know what's going on, and I don't really, but I've found some news articles. Let's talk about it. Obviously, the full link to this trailer will be in the description of the video, along with all news articles referenced. But I'm going to watch the first part of the video in 2x speed, just because it is essentially just a lot of walking about, and I don't want to just spend 4 minutes going, the textures look really nice here, even though I'll probably say that at some point. So let's, without further ado, just dive in. So obviously right off the bat, it's just talking about the actual Great Road of Heroes itself. You can see the lovely image there, and here we go into some gameplay. This is, I think, the first gameplay footage we're getting of Inazuma Great Road of Heroes, really. And as you can see, that is the manager character down there. And then we've got, obviously, oh god, I'm just moving so fast. 2x speed was a mistake. But like there, we've got like Sasuke, or Basil Hardy, I think his English name is. You've got Mark, Axel, the Sonny Wright, that's his name. Aiden Frost over there, David Sanford. You got, I think that's Todd Ironside, what a legend. You've got basically all these characters coming together. This is, you can tell, Raimon. And I'm assuming that it's purely for technical purposes. They're showing off all these characters here with their Rick, Victor, JP, and whatnot. I'm assuming it's for technical purposes. There's all of these characters in Raimon. But also, I just want to say, I'm going to pause here. That tower looks amazing. This tower, like, genuinely, I love this. I think this looks really, really good. Maybe it's just because it's so big. And obviously, I'm used to seeing the tower, like, really small. But this just looks really, really good. And if we go back, you can see, obviously, all these players are in Raimon. And I'm assuming this is purely a technical thing, and that you're not just going to walk around Raimon and meet Jordan Greenway. But maybe, my other thought was, what if, like, this is actually have all the players that you've recruited are in Raimon, and so it's more like you're actually a member of Raimon, you know what I mean? Like, it's more like you're building a team at Raimon, because they're all just hanging about Raimon. That's probably a bit much to expect, especially if scouts are going to be in the game, which we don't actually know if scouts are going to be in the game, because obviously we know we're going to be able to recruit all these characters. But in terms of getting, like, Eugene Conwell, I don't know if that's going to be an option or not, but it'll still be interesting to find out. He can jump. Just watch this. Just wait, just wait for it. He can jump. I don't know why he can jump, but he can jump. I don't know when he's going to need to jump, but it's really good that he can. But look at him jumping away. What a bad lad. And then obviously, I think the text boxes, if I'm being honest, look really clean. Like, look at those. Like, I love the lightning bolt. I love the lightning motif that Inazuma 11 really, really commits to. I think this is just a perfect example of it. I love these text boxes. I wish I could understand what they say. But obviously, Wanley, Kevin. You've even got Davy Jones back there, which shows that they're not just going to be doing the main characters. There's some smaller ones. Like, who the hell cares about Davy Jones? So it's cool that he's there. It means that I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of characters. I don't have a number right now, I don't think, but it's cool that there's a lot of them. Scotty Banyan's obviously chatting things up. Aiden Frost is there. That looked like, I could wait, because Sean was in his Raimon kit there, so it kind of looks like Sean is Inazuma 2 Sean, and then that's Ori and Aiden, which is pretty cool. I don't know if different versions will have different moves or something. That's maybe something to think about. And that looks like, wait, but Aphrodite's in his Raimon kit. Am I stupid? Don't answer that. I'm assuming then that maybe the kid's just weird. Maybe that's like Inazuma, because technically he was in Inazuma 2 anime, he was just on the team. Maybe that's what that is. Maybe I'm not stupid. I'm gonna lower it down to normal speed now for this for this next bit, because we're gonna be looking at some of the special moves. And one I've kind of already seen this trailer, and I think, look at this. I think that looks really good, to be honest. And I think this looks amazing. I think this is Lunar Eclipse, right? I think that looks amazing. There's something kind of weird here about the models. I don't know if the outline's just not big enough, or if it's the textures or something, but something about this doesn't look quite right. But aside I don't know, aside from this one, wait, I want to see what it is. Maybe, I think it might be the texture. I think the texture might just be a bit too bright. I don't know. But I think aside from that, I think this looks really good. There's just something about this looks vaguely off. Blanche might just be maybe like cynical. But I think that looks really good overall. And then like the mist, look at this, look at this. Again, Davy Jones, they're giving a lot of spotlight to this character that literally no one cares about. But I mean, pop off. Whirlwind Force, of course. So one thing that's interesting is in a sec we're going to see Fire Tornado. And yeah, Fire Tornado. And this is the original Fire Tornado. Also, Axel looks different, and I can't place what it is, but Axel does look different. But I'm sure that's not like some massive thing that Axel looks different, but it's just kind of weird. But I don't know whether or not we're going to be seeing the Ares Fire Tornado in this, or we're going to be seeing Ares versions of moves. I'm not entirely sure. But it is kind of weird. And then this is obviously OG God Hand. So I'm assuming maybe different characters will use different mods. I don't know if they'll give the Ares Fire Tornado a different name. And so what if I wanted to teach Ares Fire Tornado to, what's his name, Axel Blaze? It's like original Axel Blaze, you know, what's the crack there? What's going to be going on there? I'm not, you know, obviously, I like how they're kind of standing talking to each other, but as well, because it kind of looks kind of weird, these guys just all standing about. Scotty especially looks like he's staring into the void or something, but I'm assuming this is just technical purposes. They have said that they think that the actual finished game should look quite different to this, which is, I mean, I think this is pretty good, so I'm not like complaining, but yeah, definitely, it'll be interesting to see what it officially looks like at the end. Obviously, we've got this official art here with all the different players. So I think that's like OG Axel, OG Mark with Ares, Jude, what's his name? What's his name? Missouri or something up there. Sonny Wright, Heath Moore. This is a real test. What's his Heath? No, that's Heath Moore. So Elliot Ember. That's his name. And that is all of the things in this. That's all of the things in the trailer. But now we're gonna look at some news articles, and by some news articles I mean probably just the one news article. But we're gonna take a look at this one from Gamatsu, who were talking about the fact and basically what they said in some of it. So we can see that Hino apologized for the game's long ongoing development, but said he wants to reward fans with the perfect game. I mean, I hope so, but you know, I guess we'll see. Currently is moving forward with plans for a 2023 release in Japan. Now, 2023 is pretty far away off, but it does give it gives me some optimism into how, how much they're actually pushing for this to be a quality game. If it was obviously just like about the money, they'd be trying to capitalize off the fact that Ares and Orion came out, well, I guess more recently now than it did in 2023, but and so probably wanting to release it as soon as possible. So the fact that they're like aiming for 2023, it gives me some hope. Though it doesn't give me a lot of hope into how far the actual game is in development. What's kind of weird is we didn't really see any match gameplay in that, just special moves. And so I'm intrigued to know how far along they actually are. Don't know. They're aiming to create gameplay systems reminiscent of the original Inazuma Eleven series, and more specifically like the original 3 Inazuma Eleven games, which allow players who are not good at soccer games to enjoy Inazuma Eleven Great Rid of Heroes. I mean, this is just promising. If they're creating gameplay system remnant, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do that using the Switch, but Ares, I think, had a bit more of a focus on. It was kind of more Strikers-esque was the vibe I got, where like, but you kind of like would hit buttons or something, and it would point to different players, and you'd be able to pass to them. I don't know. It felt a bit weird, so I'm intrigued to know how they're going to do it with this game. Definitely, it's a culmination of the Inazuma Eleven series with the idea of making it the series-defining entry. This makes me happy. This makes me happy. I think the Galaxy is the best Inazuma Eleven game by a mile, but this makes me really, really happy if they're going to try and make it the defining entry, because I don't think they're going to. I can't imagine. I really hope they don't just like get halfway in and go and just release it. You know what I mean? Level 5 wants to create something that players can enjoy both solo and online. Keyword there is obviously online. Inazuma 11 has never really been a competitive game, though. I know competitive Inazuma 11 does exist. And it's never been, primarily for competitive. And so the fact that they're hoping to strengthen both competitive play, really, really, really intrigues me. And of course, there's a gathering of players, which obviously relates to the recruitment before. And again, I'm intrigued to see if there's any scouts, because I think scouts are one of the best parts. There's some really, really cool scout designs, and I hope that we don't lose all of those scout designs, if you know what I mean. And then here, it will be available for PlayStation 4, Switch, iOS, and Android. It's weird they're still going on about iOS and Android. I would have thought they would have eventually given up that crusade. But I guess they're still going for iOS and Android, which will be interesting to see, especially when it comes to competitive and cooperative play, how those two relate. Because you can't imagine they're going to release a Switch game on iOS, you know what I mean? So I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen, but this is very, very exciting. So obviously the big takeaway is 2023. Obviously the big takeaway. And yeah, over here they say the final version of the game will be incomparable to the work in progress footage, which is, I guess, a good thing, because I like the work in progress footage, and so you can only assume the final version will be better, and so I'm very, very excited. And then this article from Inazuma Frontier is essentially this was written before the trailer dropped, but this is eventually saying about just some small details about Inazuma 11 Ares, not Inazuma 11 Ares, about Great Road of Heroes to keep in mind. So and some false rumors. So just to go through those real quick, the game will reuse the resources of Inazuma 11 Ares. It's not confirmed. I'm assuming they're not going to reuse all of it, because that looked a lot better than what we saw of the Inazuma 11 Ares footage. So I'm thinking they're not going to be reusing all of the resources, maybe some, like models and whatnot, but I can't imagine too much. And here, yeah, the game does not follow the story of Inazuma 11 Ares. It's a custom story, and it's also not a sequel to Inazuma 11 Orien. So an interesting point here is that the game will not include all characters from all games, and it's saying that they won't. Now, we obviously saw in the trailer some of the international players from Orien, like we saw Clario in there, and Froy. But in terms of some other characters, for example, the aliens of Go Galaxy is what they mention here. Whether or not they include those will be really, really interesting, because I love some of the alien designs. I think they're really, really cool. And yeah, I want to see like Ozrock in Switch 3D. Absolutely, of course I do. I want to see Ozrock on my TV. Come on. And then even when it comes to national teams, do not expect to see all the players and all the teams from Football Frontier, Inazuma 11 and Inazuma 11 Ares and Holy Road from Inazuma 11 Go appear. It will be possible to face so many teams in a single scenario. Yeah, that's kind of what we were saying about how many players are actually going to be in the game. Obviously, Davy Jones has made the cut, so he hopes that more players will make the cut who aren't Davy Jones. But I don't know why I'm ragging on Davy Jones. I don't know why I'm like absolutely just going ham on Davy Jones in this recording. But I mean, I guess if he's the lowest bar that we've set, it'll be intriguing to see who they consider better than Davy Jones, who they consider worse than Davy Jones. It is kind of weird here. What they're saying that Mark and Axel will be fine in the Raimon, but Jude will be in Polestar Academy rather than Royal Academy, which is interesting. They're going for that change. I don't know whether or not Jude Royal Academy will be kind of a different version, who maybe we can get in the game from like Portal. I don't know what's going to be in the game. Portals, maybe. Who knows? Maybe this is a time traveling game. Inazuma have done this before. They have a precedence. But Jude being in Polestar is definitely a cool change that I actually quite like. And over here, the last one we're going to look at, will the game be released in Europe? We do not know this, essentially. Obviously, the Gematsu article didn't said that there was no mention of Europe in that, but Ares was originally planned to come out in Europe. So whether or not the game actually gets released in Europe in the English version, I do not know. Now, I will still be covering the game on the channel, no matter where it comes out. We'll be doing it in Japanese first, but it is still definitely disappointing that we haven't heard anything about Europe release, though I guess that's not really the priority right now. I guess the priority is obviously just get it out in the first place, just get it finished in the first place. So what can we mainly take away from this? Well, we can take away that Inazuma 11 Great Road of Heroes has not been cancelled. What I think a lot of people had thought, and that they thought the game was never going to come out, but it looks like the game is going to come out, and it looks like they are developing it. 2023 is what they're aiming for. And I don't know about you guys, I'm really excited. All links to all necessary articles will be in the description, and subscribe to this channel, TXM's Spoors, if you would like to see more Inazuma 11 content, and you would like to hear more updates about Inazuma 11 Great Road of Heroes. This is really, really exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.